unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Sergey Kovalev's former trainer and fighter John David Jackson says Canelo picked Kovalev because he's weak to the body. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Also sign up for ESPN Plus using my link in the description of all of my videos. It helps grow the channel. I am an affiliate. John David Jackson, who was the trainer that led Kovalev through the victory, a couple significant victories, Jean Pascal, Bernard Hopkins, etc. American fighter turned trainer. Also works with Clarissa Shields and, worked with a lot of fighters. Fought Bernard Hopkins as a fighter himself when Bernard Hopkins and himself were active. He did an interview with Fight Hype, link in the description. And he gives his thoughts kind of on the Canelo Kovalev fight. They're doing a press conference. It's a real deal. It's a real fight. And this is what he says. He said, I thought Anthony Yarde would keep the distance close. He could land the body shots and hurt Kovalev, which he did well. Anthony Yarde's experience wasn't there. He was kind of rushed to his title shot. He earned the title shot, but he was kind of rushed to it. A little more experience is needed. He'll be a good fighter. He should learn from the fight and get a few more fights before he comes and fights for a world title again. Kovalev, on the other hand, is a veteran. He was able to weather mostly because the young kid didn't know what he was doing. So he weathered the storm and he was getting a big payday. I favor Canelo for a lot of reasons. Number one, he wouldn't have taken the fight unless he knew he was going to win. Listen, he's the cash cow in boxing. Why would he take the fight? He saw some things in Kovalev in that fight that made him think he could win that fight. The only thing that is needed is to keep the distance close. Sergey needs distance to punch. He's a hell of a puncher. You've got to close that distance. I think Canelo is smart. They've got to close that distance and go to the body. The blueprint was created when Andre Ward did it, and then the kid Anthony Yarde did it. It's the body. The body attack is going to hurt him because Kovalev has no inside fight game and his body is weak. It's weak for a lot of reasons, but that's not my problem. That's his problem. Another thing is Canelo is the cash cow. He's not going to fight someone he can't beat. Of the 4 light heavyweight champions, Sergey is now the most vulnerable of the 4, so why not fight him? Said John David Jackson. Then he talked about Canelo's chance to deal with Kovalev's power. He just had a hard fight against Anthony Yarde. He's not going to be able to recoup from it the way he wants to. So why not fight him? He's shown that. Although he's a good puncher, he's showing vulnerability now. That's what they're looking for. If they can get that win and go back down, why not take it? The fans got to realize that Kovalev is still dangerous. The last thing that leaves a puncher is his punch. So he's still dangerous. Can Canelo withstand the power at 175? He's got to remember this. He's not going to be 175 on the night of the fight. He'll be around 185 or 190. And then he says, if you're smart, you'll go put in the contract right now, a 12 p.m. weigh-in the next day, the day of the fight. It won't hurt Canelo because he's coming up. It'll kill Sergey Kovalev. He's the cash cow. He calls all the shots. What they're paying Sergey is only because they're paying it to him. I say have a weigh-in on the same day of the fight at 12 noon. If he doesn't want that, then you don't get the fight. What are they going to say? What are they going to cry? They'll go fight somebody new. I put that in the clause because that's me, that's him, and he does what he wants to do. And he basically said Kovalev has a puncher's chance. He said, it's an interesting fight. The way the cards are set up, it plays into Canelo's hands more than Sergey Kovalev. But Sergey can still win the fight. I'm not saying he's done. He's got a puncher's chance, but they picked him because they see something. I understand what they see. I'm not going to say it, but they see the weakness that Sergey Kovalev has at this point of his career. Why not pick him? Man, it is looking so ugly for old media. Now, when this fight was talked about, I'm talking about, when it was just talked about and it ended up failing because Kovalev ended up fighting Anthony Yarde. So the negotiations fizzled out. Back then, I was talking about it. And I told you guys the same stuff that you now hear Kovalev's former trainer and an actual fighter saying. This is the new media way, people. Get used to the new drip, the new wave. This is everything I told you. This is why Kovalev was selected. Because if you look at the lot of light heavyweight champions, Kovalev looks the most vulnerable. I said this. Now you're hearing it from John David Jackson, who you could say he has an estranged relationship with Kovalev, but nothing he's saying sounds false. See, people have to understand, just because you don't prefer somebody or somebody was nasty with you, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to lie on them and say falsehoods. Again, if you disagree with what I've said in the past and what I'm continuing to say and what John David Jackson is saying, then please leave a comment, and let me know what you're disagreeing with. Again, guys like Alexander Vodstick, guys like Artur Beterbiev, guys like Dmitry Bivol, who said he'll even fight Canelo at 168. These guys are fresher. They are all undefeated. There is no actual blueprint on how to beat him. You could say, oh, I seen Beterbiev get knocked down. Yeah, but he got up and then he knocked his opponent down and stopped him. And that was Caleb Johnson, So there's much more of a blueprint on what works for defeating Kovalev, which is what they see. There's no one that could convince me that Canelo is just moving up and he thinks Sergey Kovalev is the hardest puncher. He doesn't see any vulnerabilities, and he's just taking that chance. Because if that was the case, then why not fight one of the fresher light heavyweights? Why not fight one of the guys at 168 like David Benavidez? If we're talking about people who look fresh, David Benavidez, if he beats Anthony Durrell, he'll be a champion. Why not fight him? That's a big fight. It's a Mexican-American versus a Mexican fighter. That would be big business, especially you could put it in Texas on the West Coast. Benavidez is from Arizona. You can put it in Vegas. You can put it in Cali. You can put it in Texas. It will sell. They are picking. There's no way that me, a YouTube boxing reporter, sees all this thing. But Canelo's team, Golden Boy, Chepo, Canelo, Eddie Reynoso, they don't see all these things I'm thinking about and saying. And John David Jackson sees it too. He says they're going to target the body. We all know that Kovalev is weak to the body. This is literally, for everybody who's a fan of my channel, verbatim the same things that I said. Again, Caleb Smith at 168, Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, Artur Beterbiev at 175, Alexander Vodstick, right? Dmitry Bivol. We're talking about champions, former champions, current champions. Like David Benavidez, he's basically, no one's ever beat him. He lost his belt because he had the failed drug test with the cocaine and, made a mistake in that regard. Then at 160, you have the Triple G trilogy, right? Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo. Why not fight Jamal Charlo? Why not fight Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who's already aligned with DAZN? You would instead of fighting a DAZN fighter who's Canelo's team clout chased and said and acted like they were going to fight Demetrius Andrade, when the Kovalev fight fizzled out, they act like they were down. I told you I didn't see it happening next. And lo and behold, it's not. He's fighting Kovalev. I told you why. Kovalev is a fighter from Russia. He's a good fighter. He's done some good things in the past, has a cool resume, good resume, beat Canelo's promoter, Bernard Hopkins, and they're banking off of that. They're banking off of, the shock value that he's moving up in weight, but it's a strategic move up because we've seen Kovalev at this point vulnerable. We've seen him hurt several times. We know that, according to rumors, he drinks and doesn't always take care of his body, has legal things, like they said he chased some girl down and kicked her dog and, got kicked off of planes and shit like that. So he has legal things. But beyond all of those things, Sergey Kovalev, aside from all his vulnerabilities and, the Andre Ward blueprint, which I talked about, Andre Ward set the blueprint, the architecture on how to beat Kovalev. I was at both of the fights, and you've seen it in full display on the second fight especially. But besides all of those things, Kovalev is 36 years old. He's been hurt in multiple fights. We've seen him hurt. He is an Eastern European Russian fighter with vulnerabilities. We've seen the vulnerabilities. That he has no inside fight game. John David Jackson is saying the same exact thing. He has no inside fight game. He's not big on uppercuts, hooks, these types of punches. The area he's from is not always known. Some of the fighters aren't known for those things. It's more of a Western kind of American style. African American fighters you see with that kind of style, like the Roy Joneses and Sugar Ray Leonards and stuff, is more of an American style. You never see Kovalev do these lightning quick movements and stuff. And just like John David Jackson is saying, especially if they put a rehydration clause on him, it's not going to hurt Canelo, because Canelo's the one that's already moving up. So it doesn't matter. He can come in and maintain a low weight, but it's going to hurt Kovalev, who's been fighting at this weight class for so long, been through wars, and is limited in how much he can grow. Now, they said it's not happening at a catch weight, but a rehydration clause. Put it this way. I haven't heard if it's 100% official, but I told you before, and I'll say it again. I think they would put a rehydration clause because, like John David Jackson is saying, Canelo is the A side, and they want to tap out Kovalev at age 36, been through some wars, has a problem drinking, they said, and they want to make sure and limit his growth. They put a rehydration clause on Rocky Fielding, who's a 6'3", 168-pounder, who skillfully is not as good as Kovalev, or doesn't hit as hard as Kovalev, and in a lighter division. So if you put one on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., you try to put one on Danny Jacobs, he just didn't listen. You put one on Rocky Fielding. Why would Canelo's team not have a rehydration clause on Kovalev? So if I had to take an educated guess, I would say yes, there is a rehydration clause, but I'll wait until they do the press conference and make it official. But it doesn't make sense that you would put one on Rocky Fielding, who no one ever gave a shot to beat you, but you're willing to go past Rocky Fielding's division to 175 and fight a puncher like Kovalev with no rehydration clause. That just doesn't make sense. It's all strategic. They're making it like this is this huge legacy fight. But just like when they fought Amir Khan told me, I have the video, he tried to get Canelo at a catch weight or put a rehydration clause. Golden Boy said, no, take it or leave it. Canelo wants to fight you at 155, and he's going to rehydrate to whatever he wants to. Take it or leave it. Amir Khan, being desperate for a money fight, he took it. You know why? Because Amir Khan was coming up in weight, so they didn't want Canelo to have to watch his weight or do a same-day weigh-in or anything, because they wanted all the advantages. They didn't think Amir Khan was going to rehydrate bigger than Canelo. However, guys like Danny Jacobs, Julio Cesar Chavez, Rocky Fielding, and now most likely Kovalev, they want to put a rehydration clause on them because those guys are already bigger than Canelo. So they're going to want to monitor how much weight can actually be gained between the fight. The other thing that John David Jackson said here that I already mentioned to you guys is it's almost like he watched my video, and I'm not going to say he did for sure, but literally all of his talking points are what I've said on my videos, so it's almost like he watched my videos and, said, oh man, that's some good points, and said the same thing. But the other point that I brought up that he's bringing up as well is that Kovalev just was in a war. That's the other thing. Look how quick of a turnaround he's in. You need time to recuperate and recover. He just fought at the end of the month and almost got stopped in round 7 or whatever it was. And now he's about to get up in there with Canelo, who has a better inside fight game, great punch selection, is smaller, has faster hands, and clearly the game plan is going to be to crowd Kovalev on the inside, Kovalev needs extension. He has long arms, and Canelo has a good defense. Again, he's going to be smaller. He's going to be quicker and lighter, and he's going to try to get on the inside and rough him up. And Kovalev's not built for an inside fight game. This is why they've selected him. So to me, Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal, UFC 244, is a more compelling fight. I really don't know who's going to win there. The other thing you got to look at when you're fighting Canelo is, at the end of the day, even if it's Canelo in Vegas, it's not Russia or somewhere, if Sergey Kovalev doesn't dominate like he did Bernard Hopkins, or win emphatically, or knock out Canelo, you know, Canelo has showed time and time again it is extremely hard to defeat him via scorecard. You know, things seem to always be working in his favor. Mayweather washed him, and one judge, CJ Ross, said it was a draw. Amir Khan, even though he got brutally knocked out, wasn't doing bad for himself. Amir Khan was winning the first 4 rounds pretty easily and pretty easy to decipher. And then 2 of the 3 judges had Canelo winning. They did the open scoring with Austin Trout and had some bullshit scorecards. And halfway through a competitive fight, they made it like Canelo was winning by a landslide in Texas, and told Austin Trout's corner that they got you down so bad you need a knockout to win, you know. And the Edeslandi Lara fight, I think Canelo lost. The Triple G fight, people think he lost. So realistically, I don't really see much hope other than a puncher's chance for Kovalev, unless he dominates and looks great and superb to the point where the judge will, you know, be under an immense scrutiny for having Canelo as the victor. Or if Kovalev knocks him out, that's his chances to win. He's going to have to knock him out or put on a tour de force performance like he did versus Jean Pascal or Bernard Hopkins if it goes the distance to win. Meanwhile, he has all the vulnerabilities that we've all seen. This is why people act like they couldn't understand, but me and John David Jackson keep telling you the same thing. This is why he don't want to fight Jermall Charlo or Demetrius Andrade, because styles make fights. We know Kovalev is an Eastern European fighter, not big on like super quick movement and foot speed and athleticism. He has a great jab, he has heavy hands and power, and he can box, you know. But the amount of vulnerabilities is way worth the gamble to fight him than a Demetrius Andrade. Andrade is a quick, arguably quicker reflex, fast twitch muscle fighter than Canelo Alvarez. You get me? He's a southpaw. He's taller than Canelo, and he has a totally different style than Canelo and Kovalev. Same thing with Charlo. Charlo has a good jab. Kovalev has a good jab. But what Charlo has over Kovalev is he might not fight at 175. He might be closer to Canelo's weight. He's still bigger than Canelo. He's fresher than Kovalev. He's never been stopped. So we don't know how to stop Charlo because we haven't seen him stopped. We've seen 2 people stop Kovalev, and we've seen an inexperienced Anthony Yard come close, a guy who doesn't even spar, come close to stopping him. So the blueprint has been out on what troubles Kovalev, and this is why he was selected. John David Jackson saying verbatim basically what I've already been telling you. So I'm not really as stoked as everybody else. Again, I'll give props if Kovalev can pull it off, but with the quick turnaround, all things considered, Canelo's going to be the favorite. I really would feel. And again, I just feel like the burden's on Kovalev. He has to do a lot more to win here. He can't make no mistake. If it's the rounds are competitive, then you see how that works. You know, just like the Triple G Lara fights, they always seem to go to Canelo, and especially in Vegas. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. But, you know, just more new media stuff. Been telling you guys the same thing. John David Jackson literally said almost all of the same talking points. This is an advanced cherry pick fight. The end. If you're new, consider subscribing. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.